her parading him around, being so happy with Stefon Diggs. And then Christmas Day comes, and what does he post? Well, this starts to spread around and says Stefon Diggs with one of his sons, who appears to be the same size as Cardi B's son because she had her child around the same time as Stefon's other baby mother. So this guy timed them. This is an elite athlete. This is for sure an elite athlete. He timed the birth of two kids with two separate women at the same time. While
Cardi B gets embarrassed by a new man. We already know that Stefon Diggs ain't shit, but let's actually understand what's going on today.
Hold up, before we get into the video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and also subscribe because we're trying to grow this channel all the way to the moon. Let's get back into the video.
they made Cardi B look like a fool on Christmas Day. This was 2025 had to be a haters Christmas, and it was like equal opportunity haters Christmas. I mean, you had, for instance, obviously this Kai Cenat breakup. You had very, very actually sad situations. I'm not even going to mention that amongst the other things that happened. You had FaZe breaking up, right, falling apart. You had Plaque Max and FaZe Banks falling apart, which I think is kind of sad considering like they seemed like they had a strong relationship behind the scenes. And then you've got Cardi B, so even the girlies is eating with their hate. So it's a haters Christmas 2025. What a great way to go through half the decade. But with this scenario, it was due to her new man, Stefon Diggs. So let's just recap the past month between Stefon Diggs and Cardi B. So Stefon Diggs, just December 8th this month, several weeks ago, he would go on and comment underneath a photo of them two and say, "The way you love and support me." 3 different emojis. "Don't be showing these people you be laughing out as draws. Think you so funny." So you had that. You had her parading him around, being so happy with Stefon Diggs. And then Christmas Day comes, and what does he post? Well, this starts to spread around and says Stefon Diggs with one of his sons, who appears to be the same size as Cardi B's son because she had her child around the same time as Stefon's other baby mother. So this guy timed them. This is an elite athlete. This is for sure an elite athlete. He timed the birth of 2 kids with 2 separate women at the same time. While
This guy makes Offset look like a saint, bro. Like, bro, what? So Cardi B went from Offset, who, again, I'm not condoning anything that he did. Liar, cheater, all this type of stuff, we all know. And then went on to someone that is practically worse. The guy's actively having children outside of you in real time. And I know that the girl code and the sister code are gonna still back her. They're still gonna say, "Go Cardi, hey, da 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 da." So just holding her accountable and being like, "Yo, this isn't actually good, and what you've done doesn't necessarily make sense at all for herself, for the people that she is influencing, etc." But this world, I don't understand what's going on right here, guys. I seriously don't.
whilst having a full-time career as an NFL athlete. This guy's on timing. Well, what can you say? Merry Christmas, sister wives are in the air. So what happened was Stefon Diggs apparently spent Christmas in 2 different places, none of which had to do with Cardi B. So he spent it with 2 of his other baby mamas, and people started going in on Cardi B for this. Because Cardi B's whole situation was that she couldn't deal with Offset anymore. She couldn't deal with the lying. She couldn't deal with the cheating. Meanwhile, we saw Offset was there showing up. Offset was there at the birthdays. He was there at the Christmases. He was there at the Thanksgivings. And while we do, come at Cardi B here and there, she is a family woman in that she really, really loves, that she loves these things more than anything else. Like a Thanksgiving and a Christmas, those are the biggest deal for a Cardi B. Or like a July 4th. I don't know. Does she even really like care about July 4th? Well, we know Thanksgiving and Christmas she for sure loves. She wants the whole family around. She delayed a part of her career to have her first baby. I remember when culture. I remember that Breakfast Club interview like it was yesterday. Angela Yee telling her, "Why would you have a kid now?" And she's like, "What? What are you talking about?" And then they were talking about how that would harm her career. And then, yeah, her career was just fine. So she put off touring and all of the money that
I think she should have stayed with Offset personally, man. I generally do believe it because it just doesn't make any sense as to how she's ended up in this situation yet again. You know what I mean? It's either like Cardi B just has poor decision making and poor choices in men, or these men are just severely attracted to her. It's probably both. Do you know what I mean? It makes no sense. It makes no sense. And again, the amount of ladies that are looking at this girl and looking at girls like her as, oh, like they're the role models of society and they're the role models of what it means to be a strong, independent, etc. Again, I'm not against it because at the end of the day, get your coin, get on your grind, do whatever you need to do. But if it's now putting yourself in a position where you're now breaking homes and where you're now your children are eventually going to see this as well. Do you know what I mean? Like, how many times are we going to repeat this cycle? Makes no sense to me personally. Do you get it?
She could have made had she not gotten pregnant or delayed it to have her first baby. So family is something that's very important to her. And then of course she got married to Offset, who was already cheating before they got married, which is why the fact that he continued cheating, people were like, yo, why are you so upset with him? But eventually she leaves Offset because he's cheating again. Well, she leaves him, but they're still married. And she goes and hangs out with Stefan Diggs, who not only does he got fruity allegations, yeah, he got some allegations from the former mans of Gervonta Davis that was saying that Stefan Diggs and his brother were trying. I don't even know. That is one of the biggest mysteries. Either that guy is off of something that you take up the nostrils, or I mean, he might be on psychedelics too. So it's one of those two, probably. Like, but Stefan Diggs was known to have other chicks, but you know, Cardi B made it seem like, oh yeah, she was chilling, she was just having fun. She's on a boat with Stefan Diggs while he's allegedly handing out packets of 2C, that pink thing, and just having the time of her life until he eventually debuts her. But then he gets other women pregnant while he's with her, and then Cardi B just like immediately gets pregnant again, which is horrifying for Offset because he's like, yo, we're still legally married, and she's talking about how he's not allowing her, or he's not making it easy for her to leave the relationship. So now
That is so dark. They're still legally married, and this is just a big mess. It's actually generally a big mess. Like, at least have the divorce first. You know what I mean? Have the divorce, go about your way, etc. But when it's now a case of this is just getting messy and etc., I just don't even understand what's going on. And I just hope that, Cardi B and Offset don't necessarily just get back together because this would have just been a side quest that literally just didn't make sense for anyone. Do you know what I mean? At all. At all, at all.
people are looking at her like, well, at least with Offset, he wasn't having side babies. Like Offset, yeah, he would cheat here and there, but the family was the family, and that was that. This guy, he's had 4 babies in a year. This guy's trying to run up some Nick Cannon numbers, which Nick Cannon has slowed up a little bit. Has Nick Cannon's paper slowed up? That's my question. That's the way I look at it. Nick Cannon hasn't had any kids in 2 years? What does that tell you? Tells me that the paper might not be all the way there, because when he was eating, the kids were coming out left and right. But it looks like people like Youngboy caught up to Nick Cannon. I think Youngboy might be ahead of Nick Cannon. We got Elon, I think he surpassed Nick Cannon. Nick Cannon, you got to reclaim your spot back on the throne. I don't know about Boosie. Boosie probably doesn't even know some of the kids that he may have out there. But here we got Stefan Diggs. He's trying to make the running on these guys because they have 3-4 babies in a year.
Guys, if you're watching this year, please don't be out here just having bare kids with just random ladies. It don't make any sense. And it goes back to like other pieces of content that I do on this channel where I talk about like the social dynamics as well. And I'm feeling like I need to just expand in that type of direction because it's actually important, you know what I mean? The whole relationships dynamics, the fact that men and ladies were not really getting together. Gen Z is the most sexless generation. Because you start to realize that whenever you're looking at content and seeing ladies saying, oh, all men ain't shit and all this and all that, etc., bro, they're talking about the Stefan Diggs. And they're talking about the 10% of guys that are actually able to do, not even 10%. The 1% that's able to be on the Stefan Diggs and etc. type of timing. But let's be real, I think they say that it's 30% of men throughout history actually have kids, 30 to 40% or so. So with that being the case, majority of guys don't actually have kids. Majority of guys, they don't. Like, they're unable to pass off their offspring and things like that. But the guys that have the most kids are also the guys that seem to be like the deadbeats and things like that. Me personally, I don't have kids. Me personally, I also don't struggle with ladies, innit? So this isn't me taking frustration out on the situation going on, but it's more so an observation just to see, like, bro, what's going on right now doesn't actually not make any sense. It seriously doesn't. And the thing is, it's going to carry on happening because it's happened throughout history before. Now that we have social media is only just shone a light on what is the reality of the situation right now. Do you get what I'm saying? Or what the reality has always been. That's just what social media has literally done. It's shown that ladies are hypergamous in nature. We already knew that. It shows that the guys are able to smash with the ladies. It tends to be one guy that has like 10 to 20 to him. And all the other guys are supposed to get with at least one of those ladies. They're just out. Left for what? Do you know what I mean? It's very, very dark. Do you get it? This is going to keep on happening, and I just hope that you guys watching us, man, are not part of that statistic, because it just simply doesn't make any sense. My people, them, if you enjoy the content, make sure to leave a like, make sure to subscribe, and also watch the next video that YouTube recommends you, because we're always reacting on this channel and giving you guys some sort of content. Outside that, my people, them, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.